Nickolaus, a very good morning to you. And I suppose, yes, we've heard from other parts of the world. But how are South Africans dealing with the economy at the moment? Ordinary South Africans, how are they being affected? What's their daily lives looking like?
Well, yes, good morning to you, Veka. We join you from, what's commonly known as the Piles. It's just adjacent to the legendary Shell House building, the old ANC headquarters. And it's basically a stretch of Johannesburg pavement that tells the story of the South African informal sector. You can come to the Piles on any day of the week, any week of the year, and you can buy absolutely anything. And while you have a lot of traders here, a lot of hawkers that are paying for their space to the Johannesburg city, a lot of them are operating informally on the outskirts of the South African economy. And when I mean that you can get absolutely anything, have a look around. There's big piles of clothing here. To the right of me, you've also got fresh fruit and vegetables. There's industrial electronic components. There's kitchenware. Absolutely anything that you can think of is on sale here at the corner of St. George's and De Villiers Street in the Johannesburg CBD. Now, to underline the importance of the informal sector in the City of Gold, we've got a long-term resident and editor-in-chief of the Inner City Gazette, Moses Moyo. Moses, thanks for giving us your time. And many studies have been done on the importance of the informal sector in South Africa. But in Johannesburg, how do you think the city would survive if there was no informal sector?
The city will not survive if there was no informal settlement. This is source for tourism. We have thousands of tourists that visit this area every day to spend money, thousands, and take back those goods to their countries. You have restaurants around this area that have opened so that they can service this community in terms of selling them food. And if we talk about transport, these goods that you see here, at the end of the day, they are transported to a particular storage space. So we've seen a couple of buildings in the inner city being refurbished to create storage space. We have a transport segment that actually works on providing these people transport back to their warehouses on a daily basis.
But Moses, why have people been forced into the informal sector? I mean, there's studies that show that anything up to 18% of the South African GDP nationally relies on the informal sector. But tell us a story about why we have not only South Africans but also foreign nationals flocking to Johannesburg and working in the informal sector itself.
It's the only sector with the world facing recessions left and right. This sector is one that gives hope. People are able to bring here 100 rand and be able to spread it for the entire family. You can get 5 pieces with 100 rand here for your child, for your daughter, and for your wife. So majority of Africans are spending time here and they're actually finding it cushionable to their income.
And the informal sector itself also provides employment, right? I mean, the common argument among South Africans maybe dissatisfied with the economy is that it's foreign nationals that are making this informal sector work, that are bringing their informal wares and hawking them to South Africans. How do you respond to that? Because surely there is a certain amount of job creation that takes place.
There is so many jobs, Nick, that are created by this informal sector directly and indirectly. As I'm speaking to you, there's almost 40 security guards that I know who are South Africans that are employed to look at the CCTV network around this area. And if you look at the restaurants that are here, there's so much jobs that are created from the restaurant. So we can't bring foreign and local. This is actually one good example of how integration is working at this local level, and we just need politicians to come to this level and take this and replicate it across the country. It's a working model. No one here is taking anyone's job. Everyone here is creating an opportunity for themselves. If you look behind you, Nick, there's ladies that are cooking pap and mealies, and it's to service this community, and they come from Alex, they come from Soweto. It's integration at its highest level.
Moses Moyo of the Inner City Gazette joining us here in the streets of Johannesburg. We're here at what is commonly known as the Piles. It underlines the importance of the informal sector, not only in the Johannesburg economy, but in the heartbeat of Gauteng itself, the Gauteng provincial economy and the national economy itself. Oveka, we're going to be out and about in the streets of Johannesburg during the course of the day to try and paint this picture of South Africans being pushed to the margins, working in the informal sector to gain a livelihood, to gain employment. And we'll also be heading to the Constitutional Court to hear the Free Market Foundation's fight for informal trading rights at about 1 p.m. before hearing about how South Africans in the middle class in the afternoon are faring from a consumer point of view. How are they making their rand stretch a little bit further when things like petrol, electricity and the like are constantly going up?